Thanksgiving dinner always carried its usual soundtrack. Silverware clinking, voices talking over each other, the low hum of forced cheer. But that night, the noise stopped. It happened the moment a fork bounced off my shoulder, landing with a metallic clatter on my plate. I looked up, startled, and froze. Across the long, glittering table, my sister Jessica's 7-year-old son, Aiden, was glaring at me. He had that look kids get when they repeat something they've overheard from an adult proud, certain, and too young to know how cruel it sounds. "Mom says you're the help," he announced, loud enough for everyone to hear. "She says that's why you don't have nice things like us." For 2 heartbeats, the dining room went completely silent. The crackling fire, the faint Christmas music, everything faded. Then the laughter hit, like glass shattering. My brother-in-law Marcus threw back his head, laughing loud and open-mouthed. My mother's pearls bounced as she tried to hold back her giggles. Uncle Robert slammed the table, wheezing. And Jessica, my own sister, didn't even try to hide her smirk. "Aiden, sweetheart," she said, sipping her wine. "That's not a nice thing to say out loud." "But you said it," he replied. "I know what I said," she said smoothly. "Just eat your turkey." The laughter softened, easier this time, as if the tension had always been funny. I scanned the table. 14 people. Every branch of the family tree, gathered around polished wood and candlelight. Everyone either laughing or pretending to focus on their plates. I folded my napkin neatly and placed it beside my plate. "Where are you going?" Mom asked between chuckles. "We haven't even had pie yet." I didn't answer. I stood, walked to the hallway, grabbed my coat from the closet, and stepped outside. The cold November air hit me like a reset button. I lingered on the porch, breathing it in, before heading to my car. Behind me, the house glowed with warmth and light. Laughter spilled from the windows. It looked perfect. The kind of house people post online with captions like family, love, gratitude. I drove home in silence. At 34 p.m., my phone buzzed. "Jessica, seriously, you left because of a joke." "Aiden's 7. He doesn't know any better." I stared at the message. Of course he didn't know any better. Jessica had taught him that I existed to serve her. Someone lower, someone less. Another message. "This is so typical of you. Always making everything about yourself. It was Thanksgiving, and you ruined it by storming out." And another. "Know your place. We're family, but that doesn't mean we're equals. Some of us worked hard to get where we are." I read it 3 times. Know your place. I went to my home office, turned on the lamp, and unlocked the bottom drawer of my filing cabinet. A thick folder labeled Jessica Property waited for me. I pulled it out, laid it on the desk. Inside were the documents I'd meticulously kept for 4 years. The private mortgage agreement, the promissory note, the deed of trust. All listing me as the beneficiary. 4 years ago, Jessica and Marcus had been desperate. Their second baby was on the way. Their credit wrecked, buried in debt from Marcus, failed business. Rejected by 6 banks, they'd come to me. The little sister, the one they claimed never made it. I'd offered them a way out. I'd buy the house outright for $385,000. They'd pay me through a private mortgage, The 20 $400 a month, less than rent. 5 years of on-time payments. And they could refinance and take ownership. Back then, they were grateful. Jessica had cried in my kitchen the day she signed. "You're saving our lives, nah," she'd said, hugging me. But 4 years later, she'd forgotten everything. Convinced herself she owned the house. Told everyone I only helped with the down payment. The truth was right in front of me. The mortgage included an acceleration clause. If more than 30 days late, I could demand the full balance immediately. They were 47 days late. I typed a reply to Jessica's texts. "I do know my place. Check your mortgage documents." Seconds later, her response, "What are you talking about?" I didn't answer. I opened my laptop and drafted an email to my attorney. "David, please prepare a notice of default and acceleration for 847 Maple Ridge Drive. The borrowers are 47 days past due. Per our agreement, I'm calling the full balance to $298,000, due within 10 days. File all paperwork and begin foreclosure if payment isn't received. Best, Nina." I sent it at 11:43 p.m. By 6:15 a.m., I had a reply. "Documents prepared. Courier will deliver notice to their address this morning and file with the county by noon." "Are you certain about this?" "Completely sure," I typed back. By 6:47 a.m., my phone rang. "Jessica." I let it go to voicemail. 6:52 a.m. again. 7:15 a.m. again. 7:30 a.m. Marcus texted, "Nina, what the hell is going on? Our bank just called saying our mortgage is in default, and the full amount is due in 10 days. This has to be a mistake." I replied, "It's not a mistake. I'm your mortgage holder. You're 47 days late. I've called the loan due." Minutes passed before his next message. "You're our what? Read the documents you signed 4 years ago," I typed. "You don't have a bank mortgage. You have a private mortgage with me. I own your house." 3 minutes of silence. Then, "This is insane. You can't do this over a stupid argument at Thanksgiving." "This isn't about Thanksgiving," I shot back. "It's about 47 days of missed payments and years of being treated like the help by people living in a house I own." Jessica called. "This time?" I answered. "Nina, please," she said, voice shaking. "This is crazy. We can't come up with the $298,000 in 10 days. You should have thought about that before teaching your son to throw silverware at me," I said quietly. Hey 7. Kids do stupid things. Kids repeat what they hear. She whispered. "He called me the help, because that's what you call me, probably all the time." She stopped. We both knew it was a lie. "Jessica," I continued, "I've been sending payment reminders for 47 days. You ignored every single one. You had time to host Thanksgiving for 14 people, but not time to make a payment. We've been tight on money. Marcus business. Marcus just bought a boat. I saw the pictures on Facebook." Silence. "The notice of default will arrive this morning. You have 10 days to pay the full balance, or I begin foreclosure. Those are your options. You're really going to make your children homeless." After teaching one of them to throw things at me, I hung up. By 9 a.m., 17 missed calls. Mom, Uncle Robert, even my cousin Jennifer, who hadn't spoken to me in 2 years. At Hunley 30, my mother showed up at my apartment. I watched her through the peephole for a full minute before opening the door. "We need to talk." she said, pushing past me into the living room. Hello, Mom. Don't hello me, she snapped. Jessica's hysterical. She says you're foreclosing on her house because of a misunderstanding at Thanksgiving. It's not a misunderstanding, I said calmly. Aiden threw a fork at me and called me the help, because that's what Jessica taught him. The entire table laughed. Then, she texted me. Know your place. Mom waved her hand like she could brush it away. You can't throw her out of her house because of that. It's not her house, I said quietly. It's mine. She makes payments to me. She's 47 days late. Mom's face froze, confusion flickering behind her eyes. What are you talking about? I took a deep breath. 4 years ago, when Jessica couldn't get a mortgage, I bought her house outright. She's been paying me monthly. She's essentially my tenant, with an option to buy. Legally, I own that house. She's in default. I have every right to foreclose. Mom sank into the couch. I had no idea. Of course she didn't. It was easier to believe I was the struggling one, the one who needed family charity. Meanwhile, I owned a 385,000 house that Jessica lived in. Nah, you're being vindictive, Mom said. What happened at Thanksgiving was wrong. But you're going to make your sister homeless to prove a point. I'm enforcing a legal contract she's been violating for 47 days. I said. She treated me like domestic staff. She doesn't treat you like Mom. She taught her son to call me the help. He threw a fork at me. She told me to know my place. When exactly do I get tossed out and on my own? My mother looked down at her hands. What do you want? An apology. I want 298,000 in 10 days, or I want my house back. Those are your only two options. That's impossible, she said. Then you should start packing. Her face hardened. You've become cruel, Nana. I don't know when it happened, but somewhere along the way, you lost your compassion. I lost my compassion around the time my family started treating me like I was beneath them, while living in a house I provided. She left without another word. Day 3 after the notice, Jessica's lawyer called mine. They wanted to negotiate. David called me with the offer. They could pay $50,000 immediately and resume monthly payments, including catching up over 6 months. They wanted me to withdraw the acceleration. No, I said. Nina, I have to advise you. Foreclosure is expensive and time-consuming. If they're offering to cure the default, they had 47 days to cure it. I interrupted. They've had years to treat me with basic respect. The answer is no. David hesitated. But how many cases have you handled where someone had their family laugh, throw silverware at them? I paused. Point taken. I'll inform their counsel the offer is rejected. Day 5, Marcus showed up at my office. Security called before letting him in. 5 minutes in the conference room, I told them. But E wants security present. He looked haggard. 2 guards stood by the door. Nana. Please, he said. We'll lose everything, the house, our equity, our kids' stability. Jessica made a mistake. She's sorry, right? Because she hasn't apologized. She sent lawyers, family members, now you. But she hasn't said she's sorry. She's terrified. She doesn't know what to say. She knew exactly what to say. When she texted me to know my place. Marcus buried his face in his hands. We can't come up with 298 Zalozen. Maybe 75 Zalozen if we liquidate everything. Please, isn't there some way? Marcus. Did you know she called me to help? Not just at Thanksgiving. Apparently, it's a regular thing. Did you know? He didn't answer. You did know. You heard her say it, and you said nothing. I'm trying to keep your family in their home. You lived fine in a rental before I bought you a house. You'll survive in a rental again. Maybe a smaller one. The kids, they'll learn that actions have consequences. You can't throw forks at people. You can't treat family members like servants. Those are valuable lessons, Marcus. He left without another word. Day 8, Jessica finally called. Not to negotiate. Not to threaten. She was crying. Nah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I've been horrible to you. You've been nothing but generous. And I treated you like the help. Yes, I said quietly. I don't know why I did it. Maybe I was jealous. Maybe I couldn't accept that you were doing better than me. Maybe I needed to believe you were beneath me. Because otherwise I'd have to admit I needed you. I taught Aiden to disrespect you. I made fun of you in front of Tommy's friends. I told everyone you were struggling when you were the one keeping us afloat. I'm a terrible person. Yes, I said again, softly. You were. I'm not foreclosing, Jessica, I said. Silence. I'm restructuring your loan. You'll pay $2,800 per month instead of $2,400. That's the missed payment spread over the remaining term. You pay on time. At the end of 5 years, you can still buy the house at the original price. Nina, I don't understand. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm not cruel. I don't want Aiden and Emma growing up in rentals because their mother was awful at Thanksgiving dinner. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not finished. You're going to apologize to me in front of the entire family at Christmas dinner. You're going to explain what you did, what you said, and why it was wrong. You'll tell everyone I own your house and have been supporting you for 4 years. Those are my terms. Monthly payments on time, and a public apology, or the foreclosure proceeds. She was quiet for a long moment. Okay, I'll do it. And Nina, if I ever hear you call me the help again, or hear that Aiden has been taught to disrespect you, or if you're even 1 day late on a payment, I won't hesitate next time. I understand. After we hung up, I called David. Withdraw the foreclosure proceedings. Draft a new loan modification agreement. I sat in my apartment, thinking about Thanksgiving dinner, about a fork hitting my shoulder, about 14 people laughing, about knowing my place. Some lessons cost, or 198, Zalazard in stress and fear. Some lessons cost watching your sister cry, as she realizes who holds the power. And some lessons are learned at Christmas dinner, in front of the whole family, when the person you called the help turns out to be the one who owns your home, the one you threw forks at. Not because she was weak, but because she knew her place. Her place was above needing revenge.